morning, guys. It's another vlog. We are all up. The kids are up. Field's eating breakfast and everyone else has already finished. Thankfully, Field is feeling much better. He acts totally normal. He even says, I'm not sick anymore. But us mamas know there can be relapses. So praying that it was just a virus of some sort his body was trying to fight off. He'd never had any other symptoms other than just a really high fever. So for the other two are doing fine. I thought Ivy was gonna get it, but she's acting totally normal. So praying that that's the case and nothing else. We're gonna try and get outside in just a little bit. Still working on my coffee. And yeah, just kind of enjoy our morning. Hopefully we can get some more outside time in since yesterday we got cut short. I do have some new popsicles and stuff for the kids and another tub of chalk left. So maybe we'll do lots of chalk today and play outside. I did get quite a bit done with that new dress. I love the pattern, you guys. It is so easy. So honestly, if you are a beginner to intermediate sewer, this would be a great pattern for you guys. It's really understandable, and there's pictures and everything.
I have my waffle.
Okay. And so I'm like tempted to get more fabric to make a couple more dresses, because it'd be nice if I could have a couple dresses out of this pattern for like outside play. Just because I just love handmade clothes, and it's so easy. Like I could have finished the whole dress in like 2 hours last night. So I don't know. One gal that I am so inspired by on Instagram is Katie Metka. She's got 9 daughters and she just had her 10th baby, and it was a boy, her first little boy. And she makes a lot of clothes for her kids. And she does say, like, yes, it's not a cheap hobby, but it brings so much joy, and it's just a fun thing to do. And I relate to that so much. But also her kids are always outside playing and being so creative and building forts and all that kind of thing outside. And a lot of her kids just play in like the clothes that she makes, and just have so much fun out there, and they use up their clothes well, and I just think that's so cool. I love that. But anyway, so if you guys need someone to follow, Katie Metka on Instagram is one that I really enjoy. And they live in like a little, they call it their shanty. They built a little tiny house. It's kind of a tiny house. It's a little bit bigger than a tiny house, but they live on land in like the Missouri Ozarks, and they're living in that until they get their other house built. But they do a lot of off the grid kind of stuff, and they have a flower farm. So anyway, I hope one day they do a YouTube channel. I think that'd be so fun. Hello, Missy. Hello, Missy. This little girl. One thing that is hard for me towards the end of pregnancy, when you have little ones, 2 under 2, is that the other baby likes to climb all over your belly, and it's really difficult. It really tests my patience because it hurts. Well, they all just ran outside. I need to get some clothes on so I can go out there. It's supposed to be like a high of 100 degrees today, and it's supposed to warm up pretty quickly. So I really hoping we can get out. Well, we're already out, I guess, and stay out for quite a while before it gets too incredibly hot. So I'm gonna go get some clothes on and chug the rest of this coffee, and we're gonna go play outside. Okay, who wants what? Hey guys, so just got all the kids down for naps, quiet time, and I'm sitting over here in this big sofa chair. I kind of like this one more than the couch. Not a huge fan of leather couches. They're cold or you sweat and stick to them. So I'm over here. I did get ready for the day, and the biker shorts I had on, the elastic in them completely just like, I don't know what happened, but it fell out. And because there was a portion of the elastic that like you can keep, and then you just like tighten it with like a button. And I was like thinking that was weird. They're maternity ones, and they've always been big. So I don't know if I got the wrong size. But anyway, I cut some of the elastic that was like, because there was like 6 inches of elastic that was just hanging off of these biker shorts when I bought them. So I cut that off, and they were fine. Even washing them was fine. But now the whole elastic band, I don't know if it just disintegrated in areas or what. So they were like falling off me all morning. So I just threw those away. So one less thing I got to deal with, you guys, you know, it's kind of fine. I'm fine with it. They were really comfy, but I just put my typical dress on that this is one of my favorite maternity dresses, and it is definitely wearing out. I may have like one more pregnancy, and then this will be a destroyed dress. It's very worn out. But anyway, it has been a very long morning. We got outside for 2 hours and maybe 45 minutes. It's usually how we clock our time, is in the mornings. I don't really get out much in the afternoon because being pregnant in the heat, my midwife doesn't want me outside very much, and when it's super hot, and it just drains my energy, and the kids are super cranky. So usually in the mornings and the late evenings is when we get outside with the kids. So it was really nice outside. They played chalk and sprinklers and found crickets. And one thing I get asked a lot, and it's totally fine that you guys ask this, but I get asked, how do I entertain my kids outside, and how do I keep them, how are we outside for so long? So there's days that it's easier than others. The days that it's beautiful weather, it's definitely easier. They enjoy it, they have good dispositions, and they're overall pretty easily entertained and independent. The days that are hotter or more humid, I do notice more cranky attitudes and more like squabbling and stuff. So at the other house, when we get back to Arkansas, we are all about mud. Mud is the best thing for my boys. They just thrive, and I think it's really good for kids to play in the mud. It's a very good sensory thing. I've read a ton of books on like the scientific, evidence behind children and having them play outside. Like, our generation is the first generation that children are not getting outside, and it's causing very harmful effects to little children, especially toddlers, because they're more clumsy, or they have sensory issues, or they have all these disorders now, or they're super hyperactive because they're being kept inside. And we're made to be enjoying God's creation and being outside. There's so many benefits towards getting outside, especially with children. And so we're all about mud. Mud is great, and bugs, and just all of that, and having them play creatively and independently. That way we do like mud play stuff. I've had videos where I've thrifted things from mud play, and they thoroughly enjoy that. But with this house, we can't do that because I don't want to destroy these people's yard or backyard with mud. So we've done chalk. We've done more of the mainstream outdoor items, I guess, like kiddie pools and chalk and sprinklers and more modern day stuff, I guess. We didn't do water balloons because I didn't want to have to clean up all the water balloons in these people's yard. I didn't want to be that person. And plus, I'm kind of over water balloons as of this summer, because being very pregnant, who wants to clean those up? I've been trying to teach the boys to clean them up too. Like, if we're gonna do water balloons, we have to clean up all the little pieces and trash, because we don't want the birds to eat them, and it's just not good for the environment to have trash water balloons all over the place, and it looks really tacky. So anyway, those are the things that we've done here to entertain the kids. I personally am more of the mom that's like pulled back and lets them get creative. I'm not the type that, goes out there and sets things up and teaches them how to play, or, that kind of thing. I feel like you have to let them be bored in order to reach the point of creativity. And when you're bored, it's like you don't know what to do, but then eventually you find a way to be self-entertained. And so I like to let my kids get bored. And if they're like super cranky and like will not leave me alone, then I usually will be like, okay, let's go draw a picture with chalk, and then let me see what you can do. Or you kind of just have to like nudge them in a way, or you start doing something and then they'll come do whatever you're doing, and then just get up and go sit back down and they'll continue to do what they're doing. And just, I'm not big into like, the play invitation stuff. I'll provide a couple things, but I'm not gonna go make an entire activity and teach them how to do it. To me, that's not letting them be creative or think creatively. That's them relying on me for creativity and self-entertainment. So that's kind of the how I parent and how I raise, or how we're raising our kids, truthfully. So anyway, if that gives you any idea. Also, I'm kind of more of a Charlotte Mason minded mama in home education. The book Home Education, she talks a lot about getting kids outdoors. She gives lots of ideas and like what she believes about why kids should be outdoors. She believes children should be outside for like 4 to 6 hours with like, decent weather that is bearable, of course. But so I always have that in my head, and I always use that 1,000 hours outside app to track our hours, because I like to keep myself accountable. Also, we haven't done the TV here the entire time. Also, we removed our TV from the other house before we left, so we haven't been doing screen time or TV. I just truthfully don't see the benefit of it. I know that there's times and seasons when it can be very helpful. I don't know. Right now, it's more negative effects than good positive effects for us. So we're just not doing the TV, and we read a lot of books, look at a lot of books, and yeah, that's kind of what we do. But it's a long rant, 7 minutes. But I hope that gives you guys some ideas. Also, I was gonna say, Charlotte Mason mentions this thing called masterly inactivity. And it's where, as the mother, you see, dads are really good at this. Masterly inactivity is where you just let your kid do whatever in a way that you're observing but not interfering. You're not trying to control them. You're not trying to control what's going on, what they're doing, as long as they're not getting into trouble and doing things that are naughty and they should not be doing. But you're just letting them be kids and letting them get into things like dirt and like outside, and be curious and that sort of thing. So she encourages that, and I think as moms that's really hard for us to do that. Naturally we're like, oh, don't touch that, or you're gonna break that, or we think of worst case scenarios, which in reality worst case scenarios hardly ever happen. But we kind of are more control freaks when it comes to our children, and we want to like nitpick and don't do that, don't do this. And I do have family members that are like this, and it's really funny to see this. It's because I've been working on masterly inactivity for a while, and so you do see it in other people when they're more controlling with kids. And the things that we think about, dads don't think about. Dads are very laid back, and they let kids get away with more than what moms would usually let kids get away with. And so I think, of course, you have to have your balance. You're not letting your kids run crazy and like little hoodlums, but there's a balance. And so if that gives you any idea of like how I am outside, I let my kids get dirty. I let them create messes. A water hose can wash off chalk and dirt, and a good bubble bath will clean your kid up real fast. So, and clothing, I don't care if my kids get their clothes dirty. I don't. I have a couple nice outfits that they wear to church or nice occasions, and I save those for those occasions. And that's it. Everything else, I don't care if they get dirty, because good spray and wash stain treatment works plenty well, and I'm not gonna stress over clothing. Our life is, given to us as a blessing, and I don't want to spend my, time fretting over clothes. That's why I like to go thrift shopping and all that kind of stuff, because I don't have to spend a ton of money on something that my kids are gonna, you know, be kids in and spend their childhood playing in the mud or getting dirty. So anyway, those are a lot of thoughts. And it's 10 minutes. This vlog is gonna be a Chatty Cathy vlog, I guess. I don't ever have these, but that's just some thoughts and some answers to some questions, because I know I get questions about this a lot. So anyway, I'm gonna share about this more on Instagram. If you go to like my nature highlight or summer highlight, I think I've talked a little bit about something like this, how you have to let your kids get dirty if you want to be outside. Because I mean, outside it's a beautiful place, but also kids are curious and they're gonna have fun and they're gonna get dirty, and that's part of childhood. And I think it's very, very, very important. So anyway, I'm going to sit here. I've got my little setup over here. I have my book, halfway through it, hoping to finish it before we leave. I've got raspberry tea, or the Nora's tea, water, and these are what I was talking about that I ordered from Catalina Crunch. Hillary from Old World Home did a sponsorship with them, and I got quite a few different boxes of their cookies, and I can eat these. So I can only have 2 because I think the carbs for 2 is 12 grams of carbs, and I don't want to overdo my carbs, but sugars are really, really low, and they're actually pretty good. So I'm gonna have 2 of those, enjoy my little snack and quiet time. My mom is supposed to come over today and help out, which will be so nice. So I'm going to have my quiet time and let the kids nap and sleep. Thankfully, Noble's been taking really good naps while we're here, which has been such a blessing for me. Although even if he didn't take a nap, he has done really well with looking at books. And then he'll just fall asleep. So that's been a huge blessing. So anyway, I'm gonna have my quiet time.
I like that. Keep building it, buddy.
Okay.